Right, listen up. You've been too busy worrying about back to school traffic and when the footy season starts, but the Reserve Bank and the taxman have just teamed up to absolutely flog your bank account. The Reserve Bank just hiked rates again, which is a shocker. And now the government is looking at the 50% CG discount for investments on property and abolishing it moving forward. Basically, the government is coming after your capital gains, and it's not the type of gains that you make in the gym. Today, we're going to cut through the shambles of information online and talk about what's happening with interest rates and what's happening with capital gains tax from a chartered accountant and a buyer's agent's and a property investor's perspective, and how you can take action in your own journey and your own portfolio to mitigate these risks. We are going to discuss how this impacts your wallet, your mortgage, and the Australian dream, which seems to be a never-ending nightmare for most Australians. Now, the RBA has just broken their silence on the cash rate, increasing it from 3.6 to 3.85%. And the big banks immediately released emails to their clients notifying that they're going to be increasing the interest rates off the back of the RBA's announcement. What this means for the everyday Australian and the average mortgage of around $600,000 to $700,000 is that you're going to be paying $90 to $110 more per month in interest. Now, this rate hike is the first rate hike we've had in over 2 years, and it signals the start of a new cycle. This is actually one of the shortest cycles we've had in terms of the cash rate, going down and coming back up again. And the reason the RBA has made this decision is because of the stubborn inflation that we have in Australia's market. The RBA also doesn't have any further tools at their disposal. They can only move the cash rate. They can't play with GST. They can't play with any other financial policies like the government can. The RBA simply sets that cash rate and meets on that monthly and quarterly basis to make a decision on where Australia's money market is moving. Now, at the same time, the capital gains tax exemption has potentially come under fire in the government's upcoming budget. A Senate committee review and Treasury data has now placed the 50% capital gains tax discount in the crosshairs and potentially removing this in the next 12 to 24 months. The discount is currently forecast to cost the budget around $247 billion dollars over the next decade. And so eradicating that 50% discount, which you get after you hold an asset for 12 months, could mean that there's a massive amount of money coming back into the budget. There's a strong push to slash the discount, potentially even to 25% rather than 50%, and some people are asking for it to be removed completely. Now, the data has revealed that around 60% of capital gains tax benefits go to the wealthiest 1% of Australians. Let me say that again. 60% of the capital gains tax benefits go to around the 1% of wealthiest Australians, while those under 35 receive just 4% of the benefits. The idea of adjusting this policy is to remove investor demand from the market and give more opportunity for first-home buyers and homeowners to break into the property market. Now, these are major movements in the money markets and in potential changes to tax law. So what do I think is going to happen in terms of interest rates moving forward, and how is this going to impact your own investment decisions in 2026? Now, I've been asked by clients over the last week or two exactly where I think the money markets are going and what this impacts in terms of the market sentiment. I actually think the RBA's decision to increase the cash rate 0.25% in February was about changing market sentiment and seeing what the data looks like over the next 2, 3, 6 months. What I think the RBA is trying to do is to create a dampening effect in Australia's economy. People are going out there, getting access to capital and buying and spending more. And the RBA is seeing this in the data. And so they want to slow that sentiment, reduce consumer sentiment, and potentially bring back that inflation that's happening in Australia's economy. In terms of your own property portfolio and your own home, yes, there might be an extra $100 a month in terms of repayments for the average mortgage for everyday Australians. As far as investment decisions go, I think this isn't really going to change the market in 2026. It's more the sentiment piece rather than actually changing the fundamentals of why you would look to invest in property. For me, as a property investor and a buyer's agent and a chartered accountant, I make my decisions over the mid to long term. So these short-term changes in the cash rate aren't affecting whether I'm buying, whether I'm selling, or what I'm doing in the current market. Yes, I need to calculate my numbers in my spreadsheets and make sure I have buffers in place. But as far as actually making sound property investment decisions, completing developments and running out my cash flows, I'm not changing my strategy based on what the RBA is doing. There is a forecast another rate hike in potentially August 2026, and we may even have 3 rate hikes this year. I think this is going to more impact the sentiment on the ground, but not your personal strategy. Now, when it comes to the capital gains tax exemption, this is a bigger fish because I own multiple properties. And so if I'm looking to sell one of my properties, which I'm looking at doing this year, that property might get the 50% capital gains discount. Well, it definitely will, because this change hasn't come into effect and hasn't come into law. But in a year's time, if they did bring this into play, I'd be far more considering not selling my properties and holding the assets that I've got, unless they bring in grandfathered laws, which means that properties that were previously purchased still get the 50% discount, and it's only future properties from, say, the 1st of July or the 1st of January 2027 that only have that discount reduced. And so what I think is going to happen is that would dry up rental supply. That would mean that rents are going to increase, and we could see further heat in the rental market because investor activity may reduce if this all goes ahead. Now, the national forecast price growth for 2026 across Australia is 7.7%. And if you look at property over a 30-year period, it has performed in terms of year-on-year compounding growth around that 7 to 8% mark for most capital cities across Australia. The frontrunners forecast for 2026 are cities like Perth, Brisbane, followed by Darwin and Adelaide. And then your major cities like Sydney and Melbourne are forecast to have lower rates of growth between, say, 4 to 7%, depending on how the market plays out. Now, I think the cycles are starting to turn in the next 1 to 3 years. We're going to start to see Sydney and Melbourne have higher growth rates, and your minor cities like your Brisbanes, Perths, and Adelaides will definitely slow down in 2 to 3 years' time. But you need to make fundamental decisions when it comes to property investment, and that's why myself and the team specialise in Southeast Queensland and the Victorian market at this point in time. If you draw a ring around each of the capital cities, Brisbane and Melbourne, we service a 40-kilometre ring around each of those major cities, meaning that we buy in hundreds of councils with boots on the ground staff to find the right property for the right price in the right location. Now, personally, I'm not too worried about what they do with interest rates, and I'm not too worried about what they do with capital gains tax rules, because I'll just adjust my personal approach to meet what's happening in the market, and you should do the same. And so if you want to book in a 20-minute chat with myself and discuss where you're at right now and what you're looking to buy in the next 3 to 6 months in either that Brisbane or Melbourne market, then head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in a chat with myself. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these two key changes in Australia's property market moving forward. Is this a double blow for Australians and people looking to break into their dream home? Leave a comment down below and click this video right here for more things real estate, renovating, and financial freedom. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.